What's up, YouTube? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making this square. It is part of my sweater, but I think it'll make a good blanket. If you're interested, I'm going to teach you how to make it. We're going to go over all the steps, and I hope you enjoy. And if you do, don't forget to leave a like, and don't forget to sub if you want more videos. I'll probably be writing a pattern, and it'll be linked below or in my coffee shop. Let's get to the pattern. Okay, so I'm gonna use a 5mm hook since it's my favorite hook to use, but I'm starting off with the 5.5mm hook. I don't know if you guys can see it. To start my chain, I'm gonna do a slip knot. Okay, I like to leave a longish tail for weaving in, and then we are doing 47. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So keep going all the way up to 47. Oops. And I'll see you back at 47. So now we got our chain 47, and we're gonna go to the fourth stitch below the one we have on the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Go on this one, and we're gonna do a double crochet into that stitch. And now you have 2 stitches there, and now you're gonna keep going double crochet down the whole line, okay? And then we will see you back when you finish your double crochet all the way down to the end, okay? First chain is always hard for me, so I can't go as fast as I normally do, even though I'm not a fast crocheter. But yeah, so just make sure the chain is straight when you're doing it, and we'll see you back at the end of this chain when you have all your crochet your double crochets in there. You should have 47 double crochets if I'm not mistaken. I'll count them afterwards and let you know how many we have. So keep going. You gotta, when you get to the end of the row, you gotta make sure you have 45 stitches, at least for my side. Do whatever you want for your side, but these are my side panels. That's upside down. These are my side panels, so I'm trying to make it the same size, and I need this to be even. So if you see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side, and then 1 big stripe down the middle, and then I will go the same way. So that's why, and I like to have 2, like a little bit of a border. So do whatever you want with that information. All right, so now we're here at the end. We have 45 stitches on our row, and you're gonna chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then you're gonna skip 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then you're gonna chain in the middle and do a single crochet. Okay, so chain 2 now, skip 3 double crochets, and do a single crochet. Okay, now keep going that way all throughout the whole line, and then at the end I will show you how to come back up. And you're gonna need a couple of balls of yarn in the pink and the red. You need the working yarn that I'm working with right now. This one's coming straight from the skein, but you're gonna need an additional ball for the red when we split it up in half you're gonna need 2 pink balls, so one coming from the skein and then one separated from the skein. And the white you can pull from the middle, because the white is gonna be essentially in the middle and you're not gonna need to pull from it. So we're gonna keep going down this way and we're almost done. Okay, now on the last stitch, you're gonna stitch it into that chain stitch right here on the top, and make sure you have both pieces on the hook when you single crochet in. Okay, and now you're gonna do your turn loop. You're gonna go 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is your 3rd row now, and we're gonna take and do our double crochets into the little lift part that's here. Our chain 2 spaces. Okay, so I just chain 2, and this one counts as a double crochet, so we're going into our next chain 2 space. So our next chain 2 space will have 3 double crochets, and you're going to continue on for this till the end, and I will see you at the end. Okay, so just keep going. So you have 1 cluster, 2 clusters. You should end up with a total of, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 clusters of 3 double crochets. Okay, so I got 2. I got a few more to go, and I'll see you when we return. Okay, so that was the end of row 3. So now let's go to row 4. We're gonna chain 3 like always in the beginning, turn your work, and it's gonna be the same repeat. Go into the middle of these 3. Now you should see them a little easier. 3 crochets, and do a single crochet, and now do 2, chain 2, and go into the middle. This is our 4th row round repeat. So chain 2, go into the middle of the 3 double crochets. Okay, and we're gonna meet you at the end of the line, and then we're gonna start our pattern. I just like to have a nice border around my pattern before we start. So let's get going. Okay, we are just on our last row. We're gonna stick the make sure you get in the middle, grab the single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna start introducing some colors. Okay, so we're gonna do the same beginning for 2 of these stitches. So 2 of these oops, sorry, it's a double crochet, not a single crochet. There we go. Hold on, I can't even see my yarn over, 2, 2, yarn over, 2 and 2, and then we're gonna do this 3 more times, but on the 3rd one we're gonna change it up. Yarn over, and now I like to complete these so that the stitches stay the same tightness. And we're gonna grab our our secondary color, but I'm gonna keep the 2 loose ones on one end, so that or maybe I could do 1 and 1. Yeah, maybe I'll do 1 and 1. I'll keep 1 on the side, so that because I'm gonna hang them, and so when I hang them, I'm gonna need, maybe I'll need them separated. So my two loose ball, one of my loose balls is going this way. I'm going to grab in between the two and pull this in. And then I'm going to start with this one. Make sure I grab the right working yarn. Okay. Drop the red here because we're going to be doing other, we're going to keep that on that side. And then we're going to do double crochets into at least 5 of these chain 2 stitches, clusters. So this is one cluster. This is the second cluster. This is the third cluster. And this is still the third cluster. Let's see. Oops. Fourth cluster. I think it's up to 5. Let me just double check my pattern, because I am just copying exactly what I've already made. So that's 4. And I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're going to 5 on this one. I'm gonna drop this one so I have a large enough yarn tail to weave in later. And I'll probably weave in as I go so I don't have an issue later, because that has been an issue in the past, not weaving as I go. So every time I drop a yarn tail from now on, I'm just gonna weave it in, like maybe after I pass 2 rows. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 clusters, right? Pull up on that. Now I'm gonna grab my main white, and this one I'm gonna attach using a little hair clip. Let me find it. I'm gonna use a hair clip here, grab it and hold it there. You can use this, and I'll show you using that on the other side. So now let's grab our main body white. I'm gonna grab it from my main skein. All right, so same thing I did before. I'm gonna grab in between these 2 layers, grab that so that, because this is already tightened the way I want it, grab this here and pull up the loop. And now we're gonna make our second set of clusters. I'm gonna drop that pink there, okay, and then do just one triple set of clusters. Okay, I'm gonna pull this down, and now see, same yarn tightness. Now same thing with this one. I'm gonna pull up here on this loop. I'm gonna grab where's it, my other my main pink. This one's from the, and now I'm gonna pull it through these 2 loops, and I'm gonna grab the pink end. Okay, I like to leave myself a big enough yarn tail for weaving. And same thing, we're like we did on the other half, we're gonna do 5 triple crochet clusters. So this is 1 cluster, oops, that one didn't go through right. I'm gonna pull this down so this white doesn't get in my way. Okay, there you go. That's one cluster. And now we're gonna do 4 more of those in the appropriate chain 2 spaces. Okay. And this knots up pretty fast. You'll notice like I'm already starting to knot, and I just started my 2 colors. You're maybe every row you're probably gonna have to be detangling the yarn. It's a slow go, but it came out so stinking pretty, so stinking pretty, that I will take the detangling my yarn every couple of rows, so that I can have the look that I want. So that's 1 cluster, 2 cluster, 3 cluster, 4 cluster, and let's do the last cluster of double crochets. Okay, now with that side ball that you have, this might not be enough to get me to the top, but this is what I had from another project, so I'm gonna just keep working it until it finishes. Anyway, I'm gonna put my crochet hook in between these two. I'm gonna give myself a big yarn tail for weaving in and pull through the loop. Okay, make sure I drop this pink that's on the back. Okay, and you're gonna yarn over and put it into the next 2 clusters like we have been. So we're moving red back into the clusters. Okay, I can pull this yarn tail down as well now that it's done and it's in the machine. Ooh, I don't know how loose that is. I'm gonna have to come back and do that now. See, that's why I always check for tightness to make sure I like how tight my stitches are. If I don't, I fix it now before I get too far, because once I'm at the top, I'm not fixing it. But I can go back a little bit and fix what I don't like now versus taking my going back and not fixing it. So I fix what I don't like now, that way it's not something that I'm not gonna like later. All right, let's go back to our cluster situation. Let's see, I think it was this hoop. It's this one right here that I don't like. Wasn't tight enough for me. All right. That should now work. Now that it's tighter. Now grab my red. You see, we are always fixing while we are working. And I always show you my mistakes just so that you know you fix them now. All right, let's pull it now. Still too loose. I don't like, you see how tight these are? That's how I want this one. Yeah, something is not going right with this pink. This time I don't think it's this one. I think it's the one below it. I'm gonna hold this in my hand and see if that fixes it. No, see, it's already so loose. I think that's as good as it's gonna get. We are gonna go over it anyway later. All right, that's the second cluster. What did I do on this one? I think I wasn't paying attention. And then make sure you stick it in the chain space. Okay. All right, so that's row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going on to row 6. So on row 6, that's 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna bring this over. Now I'm gonna show you how to do this with all these colors in your lane. So this one's gonna be the same, and 1, 2, you're gonna grab this one here, tighten it like always. Make sure you're grabbing the main yarn and not the tail. And I always just throw it to the back so that it'll be ready for me the next time I'm ready to use it. Pull up this loop here, and then chain 2, drop that red, make sure you're not carrying that red, and single crochet. And now you should be able to pull it. So that's gonna cover it like that. Now we're gonna do that same thing. So you see we did 1, 2, we didn't finish this the second one here, and now we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna catch this all the way up to the white. So chain 2 into the middle of the cluster, chain 2 into the middle of the cluster, chain 2 into the middle of the cluster, chain 2, single crochet into the middle of the cluster. And now pull this up a little bit. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap up this red just so that it's not getting in my way. Now if you didn't have the hair clip, what I've also used is this one right here, just to hold the ball so that it's not one of those things that are getting tightened up. All right, so now we're dropping the pink, we're going into the middle of these two, and we're going to pick up the white just for a second. We're not even going to hold it that long. So 1, 2, a single crochet. We're going to drop that pink and leave it on that side. And now we're back to this side. So we're going to loosen this so we can work with it. This is so that these don't get tangled up too much. All right. Now, same thing. We're going to go take that thing out the loop. We're going to go into the middle 2 spaces, pull up the loop, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. You can pull that out now. There you go. Chain 2, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 2. Oh, I never pulled the loop out, so let's pull that loop out. Single crochet. Oops. Let's not make sure we don't grab any red. Okay, now pull that up. Go in between these 2 spaces here. And and pull this through, and we're gonna finish with this red. Chain 2, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Okay, and that's the end of that line. Now we are going to repeat this pattern along the pattern that's right below. We're just gonna do that and these two lines over and over again until we get to, let's see, show you on this side. So we repeated, let's see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Until we get to 13, well, 14, 15, 16, 17. Till we get to the 17th line, and then I'll see you again. So you should get to right, this pink one right below, and then we're gonna do a different line on the next row. So we'll see you when we get to, let me see, let me double check that line. So this is row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. When we get to the end of row 17. So keep working those two rows back to back, the same way we did this one and that one, this one and that one, okay? Okay, so we've gotten to the point in our pattern where we're gonna have to carry the white for a second. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the big ones here, right? So we're trying to finish up the pattern. We're doing our typical 3 of this one. Oops, 3, not 2, and not a half double. There we go. 3 double crochets. And with this one, you're gonna pick up, like we always do. Oh, actually, we usually just put it through here. Go through the middle, catch that one like always. But here is where we change up the pattern a little bit, okay? You're gonna grab the white this time and you're gonna travel with it, okay? So travel with the white. I'm gonna pull it in a second. I just want to make sure it was tight enough. Now you're gonna see the white a little. It's not gonna blend in all the way, but travel with it nonetheless. I know you're gonna see it a little bit. Okay? And finish the row as normal. And with this one, to be fair, at this point we could remove this pink and remove this pink when we're done with it, because we're gonna start again once we get back to the white. But for right now, I'm just gonna leave it on. And then I'll deal with those later. Just know that we're probably gonna start pink up here on this side, pink up here on this side again, or whatever color you chose to be your present color. I got a little bit of a yarn tangle mess here going on. I'm gonna loosen this right now just because it's getting in the way. So I'm gonna throw that over there. Okay, we're going to our last row of pink. Set of pink for right now. We're gonna come back to this pink in a second, but for right now we're gonna be done with this pink. We're gonna grab the red like always, but this time we're also gonna drop that white right there. We don't need the white right now. And I don't know if I showed you, but I always tuck in that line by pushing it to the side so you can barely see it when it's stitched in, and then keep going just in case, because I don't like how it looks when you have like just a line hanging out there. So I just push it in and make it look like it belongs. There's still a little, but not as much noticeable as it would be if you didn't push that in. Trust me, I didn't push it in the beginning, and then I had to go back to all the ones I didn't push in because I didn't like it. All right, last one in the chain stitch. Make sure you get through both. There you go. Okay. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and now, like I said, we can pull this white here. And pull this white here as well, because you don't, like I said, as much as you don't want it to stick out, it's going to stick out a little. I understand that, but we're trying to get it to not stick out as much as possible. And then the same thing, we're going to, we chain 3, single crochet, now chain 2, single crochet. And this is where we change up the pattern a bit. Instead of grabbing the pink, we're now going to grab this white. We're leaving that pink there. To be fair, we could probably snip it off like I said, and then that's one less chain we're working with. 1, 2, and then single crochet, 1, 2, because now we're getting ready to start the present. 1, 2, and we're gonna take this pattern, this chain 2, single crochet in the middle of the 3 clusters, all the way up to the other red, because now we're starting the white line for the pattern. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna snip enough of a yarn tail here, and now that's off my project. So that's one less string I'm having to worry about. I'm gonna put this in my project bag for right now, as we're not gonna be gone with it long. Same thing with this white one, this pink one here. We're gonna snip it here, give myself enough of a yarn tail, and that's off. The only ones that stay attached are the 2 reds and the white. So we're gonna keep the red over here, like I have been. Pull this end over here, and I'll attach this to my yarn so that it doesn't get it in my way. All right, now let's keep going all the way down, and we'll weave in these ends in a little bit. Okay, let me pull some of the slack, because I didn't have any more slack of this white. Now we got it to the edge of the present, and now let's put the background color on, and same thing, 1, 2, single crochet, 1, 2, chain 2, and then single crochet in the chain stitch. I just got to make sure I got both of them, because otherwise it doesn't look nice. It forms like this little hole. Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, turn your work. Okay, now same thing, same pattern. We're still going with the double crochets in the 2 double crochets in this one, and the chain 3 counts as your 3rd one. Okay. Oops, try not to grab that white. Actually, I can pull down the white now. 3 double crochets in the next stitch. Okay, now come back. And this, like I said, you don't have to do this part. I feel like it keeps my tension the same when I do it this way. But if you find that you can just grab the next color and keep your tension the same, you don't have to do this process. I do it because I find that it keeps my tension the same. All right. Once you're finished with that red, you can drop it. Don't carry it. And now we're doing this whole row from this point to this point to the where we picked up the white, all in white. Okay, so let's grab this, keep going. Okay, this is the last cluster of two. You're gonna leave that white there, and you're gonna pick up this red here and finish the last two sets over here. Okay. And then stick the last one in this chain two space. One, two, three. Okay, and now turn your work. Okay, you can pull on that white, bring it back over to this side, and then same thing, single crochet in between the cluster, chain two, single crochet in the cluster, come back and grab that white. And here's where you have a decision to make on how you want to finish, and we'll get there once we finish the cluster that's on the line. I mean the chains that is on the line. And I'll let you know what your decision is, and I'll show you what I did the first time and what I'm doing this second time. Okay, here's where your decision comes. Okay, now you can go ahead and drop that there and start the pink up, and it'll kind of leave a weird line, but not so much that you can see it. I did it here where you see it's all the way up here, and then I changed it to pink. It's barely noticeable, or you can string the white along and then carry the white back. That's what I did. Like I said, that's what I did here. I didn't drop it here in the middle. I left one side had it and one side didn't, and then I carried the white back along the way when I was going along the pink. You can do it that way too, or you can drop this here, grab another white, finish this line with a white, and then that's something you have to weave in. I'm just gonna finish this row because that's how I did it the first time, and you really can't see it. You can see where I carried the white, but you can't see where I carried the white backwards. It's right here, barely noticeable. So I'm just gonna do what I did the first time, because I hate weaving in ends. I think most of us do. So I'm gonna carry this white all the way over and bring it back with the pink attached, because we're gonna reattach the pinks, and then we're gonna be able to finish our pattern. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Leave that white there. Grab this red. 1, 2, single crochet, 1, 2, chain 2, single crochet. One, 2, 3. Turn your work. Okay. Now I try to keep these on the opposite sides. Let's see what side this is on. This is on this side. Okay. I'm gonna wrap this around, attach it here. All right. So do your double crochet cluster of 3 here. Remember, the chain 3 counts as 1. So that's 1 cluster here. I'm gonna go 2 cluster. This is the second set of clusters. Okay, and now we're not grabbing the white. We're gonna carry the white, but we're not grabbing it. We're gonna go back and grab this pink yarn and put it back in. Okay, and then we're gonna carry the white. So grab that pink yarn. Make sure you go through both. Hold on, I did not, so I'm gonna come back. Okay. And then drop the red, but pick up the whites. So yarn over and start carrying this white over. See, you're not really gonna notice it because it's blending in with the white that's already there. And we can drop that red to the back. Make sure you pull it though, so that it's not leaving an end over there. Whoop, 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 whoop. No. Grab that red out of there. And I left a long enough pink tail to weave in. So leave a longish yarn tail to weave in after. But I'm holding on to this white, and I'm just traveling with it. Okay, I'm doing my normal clusters here of 3 double crochets. And then I know I call them clusters, but it's not a double crochet. It's not a 3 double crochet cluster. It's just 3 double crochets. I know there's a thing where you keep the thing attached, but that's not what this situation is. All right, we're almost done. We need two more sets of 3. That's one more, and that's 2 more right there. Okay. See how pretty? All right, now I dropped it somewhere here, so I gotta go back and pick that up. Don't do like that. So make sure you don't drop it. So let's go back and pick that up. Always traveling with the white yarn underneath this row. If you decided to do it like me, if you decided to do its own and leave that there, then you're not traveling with it. I just like less yarn tails to weave in, so I travel with it. Okay. Now, just grab that white, and same as always. And 3. And then leave this one here. And we're gonna attach the other pink now from the bag. What I will do is roll this pink up, because I know you guys didn't see how I was traveling with this pink. I attach it so that I don't have to, it's not something I have to weave in or worry about. I attach it, and then when I'm ready to use it, I detach it. All right, just like with this one, which should theoretically still be attached. Okay, so I keep 2 ends attached on the other sides. All right, now let's go back to this pink. Leave enough of a yarn tail, and same as always, double crochet, 3 double crochets in the 2 chain stitch. And I'm carrying a little bit of my end so I don't have to weave it in so much. You can drop this one here, and now we're gonna go back to same thing we did here. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more rows of this. Okay, so we are on row 35. We're gonna get to the other ball that's attached here on the opposite side, which is the one we started with. So we're gonna do one more row of that hold on, did I do 3 or did I do 2? Oof. I did 2, thankfully I checked. So we're gonna do one more row of that chain 2 stitch to get over to the other side, and then we're gonna cut all these ends off. We'll weave them in afterwards, but we'll be able to cut all the ends off. So just like always, chain 3, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Pick that up. That red is gonna be going after this round, and so is this pink after this round. So all of these colors are getting cut off after this round is done. So you're gonna be able to leave longish yarn tails for sewing in every color, every single color, because we're going to red. So this is row 35. Okay. This one can get cut as well afterwards. I'm gonna put it in the back. 2. We're gonna have so many yarn tails to weave in after the next row. I foresee this being an issue, but it'll be nice to have them finally done, because carrying around with 5 different colors has been an issue, but I love the way that there's no floaters on either side. The sides look the same, so no floaters going around. And we're just gonna close off this present. And I think after this row, we have 3 more rows left of work. This is the only one we're not cutting off. The one that's attached to the actual yarn, we're not cutting off. I feel like last time I used what was left on the ball, but since I don't have so much left on the ball, I'm just gonna climb over. It's not gonna be much of a difference. We still did the same amount. We're still doing the same amount. It's just this one's gonna be, you know, a little slightly different from the one I made previously, and that's only because I don't have enough on this. If I had enough on that, I'd probably would have started tapering off already. All right, so now we're here, and let's cut all of these ends. Make sure you don't grab the red that's attached to the yarn itself, the skein. This one's attached to this one, so I can cut all 4 of these. I can cut all 4 of these, and snip, and they're all gone. All of them are gone. Okay, and now we only have 1 color on our product. And same thing for 3 more lines, the same pattern we've been doing. So we're gonna do the triple crochets on this line. Double crochets on this line, 3 of them. And then we're gonna do 1 row of that chain 2 single crochet pattern. Hold on, my red now wants to act up. Okay, and if you want, so you don't have to sew in as much, you could probably start carrying some of the colors into the other side. So all you have to do is cut, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this yarn up and travel with it a little bit, not too much. Give myself enough for tying off, but so I don't have to weave it in. Gonna walk with it. It's gonna take a little walk with me, maybe at least 2 of them, and then I'm gonna tie it off. That way I don't have to weave this in. I can just do it as I'm working. And I'm gonna do that to all the colors. So yeah, I'm just gonna do it for 2 of these rounds. And then I'm gonna let it go so I can tie it off afterwards. So that's less weaving in I have to do. I'm dropping it now. The white is gonna be the one that's the trickiest because it's very short round. So I'm not gonna have too much to hold on to before I let it go. Literally just 1 set. And then I'm gonna have to come back and probably weave it in and then tie it off. But this is so that you minimize some of the weaving you have to do, and I can just tie off, which is a little easier than having to weave and then tie. And look at me messing up. All right. But yeah, that's just an idea. Do whatever way makes you happy for weaving in and tying off. This makes me happy that I don't have to travel. That I don't have to spend so much time weaving in my ends, or I can just travel with them. It is something I always do, but do whatever way makes your heart content in order to close off your ends. As you see, I've been doing my ends as I go, so that I don't have much to do later, because I already have a whole host of the other projects that I'm working on that I have to weave in and tie off. So oops, we forgot to grab one. Let me grab this one. I didn't forget about you completely for like a half a second. I'm gonna travel for one more and then I'm gonna tie it off at the end of this row. So remember what I said, you're going one more row of this this pattern here. You're gonna finish it, then you're gonna do the chain 2 single crochet, and then one last row. We're gonna finish this one off on the set of 3 double crochets. Okay, I'll see you when it's time to tie off. Okay, so we are done. You should be done with me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut off a bit of a yarn tail and we're gonna pull up. I will weave in these ends in a moment, but let's start on, I don't need these anymore, so these are gonna go into my my, what is it called, what am I looking for? My scrap yarns. Okay, I do however need my white, and my white, we're gonna go and we're gonna start for the bow. We're gonna chain 100. So I'm not gonna count them out with you, but chain 100 and then double crochet after the 4th chain from this stitch. But we'll come back when we have 100 on the chain and we'll do the double crochet in every one. So I know this is white on white, but we have already done this before, so we're gonna take 2 from the 2. This time we're going to go 2 from the top here and right here, because we're not coming back to this chain, so we don't need this the closing chain to be long. And I kind of wanted to have a little circle thing at the end, so we're only doing 3 from the chain and then we're gonna keep going. Okay, double crochets down the chain, and then we will show you how to put it on the present, and then we'll pin it down so that we can attach it to it. So just keep going with the double crochets down the line. Okay, so that's what it's looking like. You can do 4 from this chain if you don't want that circle. I'm a fan of little circles. I don't know if you can see it, so I want that little circle at the end. Actually, you know what, my last, yeah, see, I'm gonna show you right now. My last one had it here circular, and what I need to do is when I finish this off, we're gonna curve this one too a little bit more because I like this curve that this one has. Okay, so just keep double crocheting down the line and we will see you when we get to the end of this round. Okay, so we're here at the last one, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull up a long yarn tail for now. I'm gonna grab a lot of thread because I'm gonna be using this to sew in. Maybe you don't need this much, maybe you'll come back for more, but I'm trying to have as little to weave in as possible. So let me just get a scissor. And do I think this will be enough? Hopefully. I'm gonna pull just a little bit more. I'd rather lose some yarn than not have enough. All right, this should be enough to grab the rest of it, and I'm just gonna pull it all through. I know it's a lot, and we're gonna be using this to weave in this to our pattern. Perfect. Now, if you want to make this one a little more circular, you could weave this one into the top, or you could have crocheted just maybe one stitch on top here, if you want to. I'm gonna just use the yarn tail to make this a little more circular. I'm gonna have this one go in through this side and then end it like that. So let's do that now. And then I'll sew it in later, but I'm gonna weave it in on this side. Hold on, tighten that here. There we go, just on the tops. Okay, and that should make it a little bit more circular, you see? Already, it's already more circular, okay? If you don't want that end to push out a lot, just pull it out a little bit more. And there you go. It's a little bit more circular. Now, you can cut and tie it off when you need to. I will show you how to pin it on. So take your best side. For me, it's not this side because you can see all these lines. It's gonna be this line is my best side. And I'm gonna take it okay. I'm gonna start this one here, kind of in the middle. Make a loop. Now I want this flat, so I'm gonna make another loop here. Okay, and kind of finagle it like that. And then when you get it to how you want it, you don't have to have it like mine. When you get it to how you want it, just pin it here as many places as you need to. I'm using hair clips because my daughter just has a bunch of these available and it's just easier. So just clip it as many places as you want. Remember, you're starting on this side or this side, whichever one you want to start on, and you're using this long yarn tail. So just pin it everywhere you need. I have a few pins pinned out, and as I move them, I can hold other places, but I'm gonna keep working around until this is done, and I will show you that in a moment. But yeah, this is how we get started and have a lot of yarn to sew it in, because I want it flat like this one, which I've already showed you. Sorry about the cord. So just like this one that I've already showed you. So we're gonna do the same exact pattern for that other one. All right, it's time to sew in the bow that we made, and this is a really long yarn tail, and I know that, but that's because I want to kind of flatten this bow so it doesn't protrude too much. All right, so I know this is a long yarn tail, guys. All right, so I'm gonna start with the corners. And hopefully I don't make a big mess of this. And this end I'm just gonna weave in later, but I just want to sew this down. Probably be easier to weave in the end when it's not on here, but you know, who does easy? Not me. And I want to make sure this part is down, so I'm gonna stick it through here. There we go. So I want to make sure it's kind of as flat as it can go. Okay. There we go. And you're just gonna keep doing this all around the whole side of this panel. Okay. I'm gonna do it every stitch to make sure it's down. So every stitch that's on here is gonna go down, and then when I get to the middle, I'm gonna stitch it between all of the folded pieces to stitch it down. Okay, so you're just gonna keep weaving this in as you go, and then we will see you when it's done, or maybe when I get to this side so you can see how I do it. But I am using this little pin here to hold down, and then I will shape these before I start. But yes, this is how I want my Christmas present one to look, and so I'm just gonna keep going, and I want you to keep going as well. And I'm gonna use the edges that are here on either side and try to stay away from the middle points. If you notice, I'm just using the edges right here at the bottom and the top of the double crochet chain that we did. Okay, keep going, guys. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just doing the edges right now to hold it down, and then I'm gonna come back and do the insides later. But I just wanted to hold this down so it didn't flop up when I come around to do it over here. So I'm gonna come back, grab this one, and then we're gonna shoot over to the other side. I just wanted to hold it down. See, like this. I can still pull this up, but I'm gonna come back and sew it down this other side. But this whole side right here is all stitched in. So I'm gonna come over here onto this side where I left off. Might be helpful if I take the point and not the end, even though the end did go through. And look, guys, I'm already starting to run out of the yarn that's on my tapestry needle. So it's a good thing I gave myself a lot of yarn to work with. I always lift up a little just to see where I am on the yarn, because I'm trying to stay at the edges, because when I go back, I'm gonna go to the edges on the other side as well. Once we get this one here, I'll pin this one down as well to kind of where I want it. And I didn't weave in the other end, so now I'm getting like the ends from the other side coming in. Note to self, weave in all your ends for the next guy. See, have to untie them. All right. Oh no, the red came through. That red is from over there, my goodness. Maybe I'll stop for a second and weave in my ends, because they are getting into a tangled mess with this yarn. Look at this. Look at this. Tie in your ends, guys. Don't be like me. Tie in your ends. See if that tightened them all. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the yarn off of this for right now, and I'm gonna go weave in all my ends on the back that I just left hanging out. Yeah, I have so many ends to weave in. I was trying to avoid it, but obviously I can't weave in my ends with these ends still hanging about. So let me weave in the ends and I'll be right back. But look, it's not making too much of a mark on the inside, so I do like that. Anyway, let me weave these in and I'll be back. Okay, so my whole back now is done. I just have 1, 2, 3, and this one shouldn't really bother because my my white is not going that far, and I'm lazy and I'm tired of weaving in my ends, especially since I already have to sew this one. So now I shouldn't get bothered with all the ends that I wove in, and I should be able just to continue my project, which is really what I want to do. So back to weaving in my ends, and this was the next one here, and we're going in. All right, so we're just gonna keep weaving in our ends now that the sewing this in now that our ends are woven in. And I always just like kind of grab to see where I am and the next stitch to see which stitch I'm up to, so I don't grab the same one twice and I don't have to stitch it in twice. See, I'm on that one. The next one is over here. Okay, so just keep sewing this down. I'm gonna keep sewing this down. Now that my ends are woven in, it should be, well, most of my ends. I still have the edges ones that I haven't woven in, but that is a topic for another day. So if this pattern helped you out at all, please don't forget to leave a like, sub if this is interesting to you, but definitely like, and if you want to buy me a coffee for providing this as a free pattern, let me, my coffee links will be down below. And I think I'm going to be trying to write a written pattern for this so that it's easier for you guys who don't like to follow a visual pattern as well. But thanks for watching. Happy crocheting. Bye.